and a conference dubbed Innovation Conference Ghana is scheduled to hold on the 27th and 28th of September. We're discussing innovation in Ghana. I mentioned that earlier after the news bulletin. And my guests are from, well, the CSIR, but under STEPRI. So that would be the Science and Technology Policy Research Institute, you know, with the CSIR. My guest this morning, Massa Dufuseni, is a research scientist, and Justina Onuma is also a research scientist, but you're both with STEPRI.
Yes.
Okay, you're welcome. You corrected me when I got back. You said it's not the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, it's the Council for... I have heard this used interchangeably. Why is that? A genuine mistake on our part.
Okay, if I may answer that, the council, it's a conglomerate of a lot of institutes, but the center is just...
Which is why STEPRI is under the council.
CSIR,
okay,
yes.
All right. You're welcome again, and thank you for the correction. Yeah. But you know, it's common knowledge that what mainly differentiates the developing countries from developed countries is their innovative capacity. Mm-hmm. So, armed with this knowledge, what has STEPRI under CSIR done, you know, in all of these years? You've been in existence for about 30 years, done to encourage innovation in Ghana. What do you have to show for your 30 years of existence? This is where you blow your trumpet if you can.
Yeah. I will start and then Mashido continue.
Oh, then there are many.
Yes, there are lots of them. We have a lot of projects that we run. Currently, a project that is directly linked with industry innovation. It's sponsored by CODVET under the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. And under that project, we are supposed to bridge the gap between industry and research. So what we do is we link up a private sector partner with a scientist. So they come up with the technologies that we have developed under CSIR.
So any tangibles?
Yes, we have example, for instance, we have a palm nut cracker separator, more or less, you know,
as in Adre.
As yes,
okay.
You know, the graduate that these women go through to not that the CSIR Institute of Industrial Research, for instance, they've come with a technology. It's actually a machine that they have developed, and it separates the nuts without any graduate and then human intervention.
The nut from the shell.
From the shell, so it becomes a bit easier for the woman and faster for them as well.
For a drink production.
For a drink production, yes.
All right. She said you were going to add on.
Yes, taking it from where she actually ended. And her bit to explain what CSR actually entails. We have 13 research institutes under the CSIR, and I mean across the country. And what we do at CSIR STEPRI mainly is policy research and innovation as well. And quite a number of projects or initiatives that we have been involved in, innovative initiatives. And one is a platform that we call Pan-African Competitiveness Forum, PACF. It is a continent-wide platform to enhance the competitiveness of small and medium-scale enterprises. And what we do basically is to build their capacity and see where they they have problems in terms of technology and producing. Then we introduce them to the appropriate research institution within the CSR or even beyond their competitiveness on the global market.
Okay, so it's not to say it's more your work is mainly food-based. It goes beyond.
It goes beyond.
Okay, you know, it's been generally observed that innovation in this part of the world is mostly what do they call it? Incremental innovation. It's not ingenuity with originality. You know, it's a modification of what's already in existence.
Yeah.
As key drivers of research and innovation, when you hear about this notion, how do you feel? Do you think there's an iota of truth in this at all?
Yeah, there is an iota of truth in
Just an iota, or is actually true to the core?
Oh, there is an iota of truth, I must say. Because you see, innovation, it can be described in so many ways. If I have a product or I have a technology that is only in Ghana, but probably existing in other countries, I am able to say that it's innovation, but within the country, because it has never existed. So usually
in the country.
But if you're talking about radical innovation, it's innovation that hasn't existed anywhere before, and that's where African we lack.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the things, because our point always is like, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. People have done it before. Let's learn from their successes. Let's learn from their mistakes, and then we also pick it up. So even that, so the motive is, how do we move from these incremental innovation status to a radical one?
Absolutely.
It's a huge process.
Absolutely, which is why I ask what the degree of synergy or collaboration between the CSIR and other knowledge institutions like the universities or even other research institutions, is like. Perhaps if there was anything to write home about, we would have turned science into more action by now.
Yeah.
We have collaborations within the country and beyond. There have been so many projects that CSIR has collaborated with the universities and other technical institutions, and sometimes beyond. And currently we serve on a platform called CASNET Plus, where we have partners from European countries and African countries. We have about 25 partners, 25 partners within Europe and Africa. And mainly what we seek to do is to actually popularize Horizon 2020, which is the funding framework of the European Commission.
Horizon 2020.
Where the European Union or European Commission has put 77 billion euro for research and innovation. And we seek to popularize this.
How much of this comes to Ghana?
It depends on how you bid.
It's such a huge figure.
Yeah, and it's open to all, and it means that people from within Africa and Europe can really participate in this. And it comes
for
with
how long
conditions.
has Ghana been a beneficiary of this? I want to know how much has come to us, has accrued to us in the past year.
I don't think it's not like the money is there that we have to allocate it. They are trying to promote collaborative research between Europe.
So far, have we benefited from this?
Yes, we have benefited. I think we joined the platform from 2008.
Okay.
And there have been cases that Ghanaians or Ghanaian institutions have benefited from that.
Do you have figures? How much and what was the money used for?
Not the exact figures,
but you know the innovations. What?
My institution has benefited from this.
Okay.
I know Food Research Institute has benefited from the Horizon 2020 projects, and they are still on. The 2017 calls are open, and institutions are applying. Currently, I think just yesterday we had one of our platforms that we belong to, because you actually need to have 3 European partners as part of a team, to a consortium, to be able to win a project of that kind. And one of the consortium consortia that we belong to actually won the project, I think within the week.
A cardinal pillar of innovation is the ability to anticipate future trends, to forecast future trends, so you can carve out innovations to meet those trends. And this is where there's such a wide gap between, this part of the world and the developed world. Can this gap ever be bridged, regardless of how much money, is available to us if we're ready, under Horizon 2020? Can this ever be bridged, considering, they're already light years ahead of us?
It can, to some extent. It's a process, to move.
That's a very grandiose ambition. Can it really?
It's a process. I can't say that maybe by 2050 we should be there. We can't say that, but as we move on, it depends on the priority that as a country we place on some of these things. So we see how to channel our funds.
It can. And as a nation, we actually need to define our priorities. It appears we actually do not place much value on the research and innovation or science and technology. And it is, whether we like it or not, it is the driving force. It is something that the developed world have used to actually develop, and we have to actually emulate that. And there should be some sincere commitment shown to science, technology, and innovation if we want to develop.
But otherwise, we can just resign ourselves to the fate of incremental innovation. After all, there's nothing really wrong with modifying what's already in existence, as long as it suits our peculiar needs. It's not an entirely bad thing in and of itself, is it?
Yeah, it's not. Because incremental innovation is happening everywhere.
Yes.
Even with the now developing, I don't know what they say, to develop economies, the Asian economies, what they are doing is not really radical. So it's how you use the innovation It can be incremental, it can be radical, but if it's peculiar, as you said, it must be peculiar. It must address a problem.
Yeah.
So if the incremental innovation will address a problem, I think that there's nothing wrong with that.
I remember
you need to invest in it.
Yeah,
that's
because I think that most innovations from other parts of the world are not necessarily done with us in mind. I remember one of my producers used to tell me that the first cameras, for instance, were not made for people of color. They were only made for Caucasians, and that's why you find that only people of color did not look as good as Caucasians on camera. So but over the years there have been modifications, and today we all look nice on camera. So there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong actually.
So when is this conference? Again, it's on the 27th and 28th, and the theme is development, innovations, putting the pieces together. Who are invited?
Everyone, the private sector mostly is invited. The research institutions are invited, the polytechnics, the universities, and then policy, because we want to see how policy will also push innovation, practice, and process.
And perhaps that's why I can ask the role of government in this, if you come in, Husseini. What do you think the attitude of government towards innovations in Ghana is like, encouraging or discouraging? Your answer will let me know what to say next, because I have a piece from someone, Professor Bobobi, at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Let's see what your answer is first.
Investment by government into science and technology is really minimal, and has not really hit the target set by the African Union. The African Union demands of countries to actually have 1% of their GDP invested into research and innovation, and so far it's only South Africa that is almost getting closer to this. The rest of African countries lag behind. Ghana is no different. We haven't invested so much into this, and those who have really done that are within 0.5, and Ghana is not different.
Have you heard about the TEK mechanical cassava harvester?
From KNUST?
Yes.
Yes.
You have. And you're in a position to say that this is an original invention
from Ghana.
From Ghana.
Yeah.
So how far can such inventions go, considering, I don't know how many countries in the world are interested in harvesting cassava? And
you see, it's not a question of how far it will go. How far would they address our needs as a country? Our peculiar
needs.
And for Ghana, I think Ghana is the third largest cassava producing country in the world. But we have a problem with storage.
Okay.
So if and then this gradual, I always come to this point, this gradual in harvesting. So if KNUST has been able to develop this technology, it will suit our peculiar needs as a country.
Okay, and yet this is what Professor says. He says even though we have this, government has failed to support the innovation despite efforts to catch government's attention. Apparently, there's some money government has received from the Brazilian government, and it's rather importing cassava harvesters from South Africa. What will the role of STEPRI under CSIR be in this case?
It's a shame, come to think of having these technologies and looking at the upskillment. It's a shame that we really don't put so much into this. And you see that most of our research that we do are donor funded. Mostly we rely on donors to fund our research. So we're waiting for the government to come out with the research fund, and we'll see how best these things, this particular thing can help address.
Because if I'll add to that, currently in STEPRI we have about 13 projects running, and it's only one project that is sponsored by government. All the 12 other projects are donor funded. So
which project is that?
The one funded by government was the Technology Development and Transfer Center, the one I talked to you about in the beginning. That's trying to actually promoting the link between research and industry, innovative research and industry.
Perhaps we can wrap up on this, on our educational system in Ghana, whether it actually imbibes innovation, innovative capabilities in us, in students. Do you think?
We have a way to go. There is some efforts. I won't dispute the fact that educational systems are oblivious of innovative capacity. Ghana has an innovative capacity, but we need to build it up. And I think we need to start from basic. Targeting it at the higher education, sometimes it doesn't really help. we need to start from the basic and inculcate the habit of innovation in our children.
What are the expected outcomes of this conference finally?
Okay, the conference actually, there's going to be an international conference hosted here in Ghana in 2018.
Oh, okay.
It's called the GlobalEx,
Okay.
the Global Learning of Economics of Innovation
Okay.
Community.
This is only supposed to launch us into that conference.
Yes, so it's supposed
Okay.
to launch and gather innovation
Okay.
practitioners in Ghana to forge ahead and see how we can promote innovation in Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Expected outcomes from this conference, Innovation Conference Ghana.
I mean, scientists are really particular about having the publications. It's going to help us have our publications. It's also going to have that community of innovators to really see how we can champion the development of Africa in general, because it's actually not narrowed to only Ghana. It goes beyond
How
Ghana.
do these publications translate into implementation?
There are policy briefs sometimes from these things that we feed the policymakers with, and sometimes follow up to see how these things are.
And over the years, has this garnered any support, much needed support?
We do a lot of policy briefs.
Everyone comes up with policies all the time.
Yeah, but the politician is actually torn between how do I get my voters, and also how feasible, how is this policy going to work for me, given the fact that my voters might not really necessarily be looking
which
for.
is why I wonder how publications like these will translate into implementation.
It comes back to the point of how we put our priorities.
We do put some force.
Where and how we put our priorities as a country.
Right.
So if your priorities is just to win an election, then I don't know where we'll go. So.
Thank you very much. You've said it all. Justina Onuma, research scientist, CSIR, but she's a STEPRI, and then Masadu Fuseni, also research scientist, CSIR, STEPRI. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
All right. So